Thank you, Gary. Good afternoon again. So I'm going to go straight to the presentation, sharing on exploring PPM application in Petronas. I think almost exactly 2 years ago, right? It was 10 November 2021 that we had previous 2021 PPI symposium that I presented remotely, right, virtually. I got almost my bedtime at that time, right? So I got the opportunity to present first because of it's very late in the afternoon, right? So and here we are again, right? After 2 years of exciting journey we have in Petronas, right? Just to share some update and maybe exchanging ideas with you all. Oh, sorry. This is also a similar slide like before. It's just the different. We are no longer the champions of most competitive, but we are still. We can say still we are 8 times champions, right? So Red Bull now taking over, but we are the thing that still remains there is we are still striving and exploring ways to improve our project delivery performance. That doesn't change much yet, right? All right, so we have came a long way in our transformation journey, right? Like Roberto mentioned that we started behind the screen during COVID times, right? And now we have active physical deployment and real implementation in multiple projects, right? I think the target is to have deployment in 15 projects for this year, right? But I think we didn't get until 15. It was more than 10 definitely. But for each project, we have multiple scopes that we implemented and both PSO and PPC. So the total application of PPM is, I believe, more than 15 already for this year. This on top of more than 10 in the first year. The mode is that the deployment is rapid deployment, not to the bigger scale. We are very strategically selecting which scope to implement, not for the whole project execution, right? But the scope that really matters for the project team, right? So it differs from project to project. So the previous phase we were in 2020, 2021, we call it as a proof of concept phase, POC, and we move towards in 2022, 2023, right, currently as a proof of value phase, right? So one of key element that we learned through the journey is that it's very important for us to prove the value, for us to keep moving, keep gaining the support from the stakeholders. They want to see, right, in their terms, right, where is the money? What's the value from this implementation, right? Even small, right? So that's the focus. Before this, to understand PPM, but now the focus is to hunt for qualitative and quantitative benefits. We go out for value hunting, right? So, and the second, before this, we are the one who go into projects and try to persuade project teams, right, to encourage implementation. But as we started to have some small successes and people start to know, project teams start to acknowledge the impact that we had. It is now starting to become adoption by choice, right? So we have seen people from project that come to us that say, I want to implement PPM, please help me. So that is the good side that we have seen, although not still limited project teams that come pushed in that way. Right? Before this, we focus on numbers of deployment. I talk about numbers still matters, but that is not the main thing now. we are now focusing on value obsession, right? So impact is more important than number of deployment. Right? We willing to invest more time, more effort in one project if we see that it's create value, or potential benefit that we can see from PPM implementation at that specific project, right? And before this, we are the one transformation team. We have a small team where I started with 3 members to drive the adoption, supported by SDS Roboto teams. But now even my team alone have already grown into almost 10 team members to drive the transformation. But it's not the key. We have started to see that the project team themselves already have empowered, right? And they are now taking lead, taking charge to drive the implementation at their own projects, right? With minimal or almost no intervention required from center, right? So there is it's positive things that we start to see, right? You see the numbers below. I think is estimated value of quantified value creation we got. I will explain a bit after this one how our value obsession framework, as we call, to quantify and to capture the value creation, right? And it is an important concept for us to track how much benefit actually comes into the project bottom line, right? We have seen as of now about 40 million USD, right? As of now, achievement in terms of value that we can capture, and hopefully we are targeting to scale up, right? And you can see now it's almost 20 times from previous year of value creation, and we are very optimistic that we can achieve. Right, this is the value obsession framework from we adopt from Petronas. Right? There are two key things. First part is value maturity, right? The problem with project is that if we see the whole cycle, we can only realize value of any solutions implemented in project at the end of the project. When we have a project 2 or 3 years down the road, then it's very, very hard for us to maintain the stamina of the deployment, right? So that's why we have the concept of 3 level or maturity level of value that we capture, starting with potential below, right? Starting with potential, we know that if we implement PPM, we know we have potential about, for example, 10-20% improvement in principle that we can achieve, right? But with further analysis and further specific, for example, after mapping of production systems and identification of where the bottlenecks and specific optimization that we can have, we can identify value. We can reach the majority of value identified, not yet implemented, but it is something that ideas or and actionable insights that we gain from the analysis, that the project team even can acknowledge that, yes, this is, I can implement this, and I believe that this will bring value to my project. So we are focusing on this value identified, right? So the capture of the value is actually mainly on value identified, because most likely you won't be able to reach the value realized maturity, because it is only can be captured at the end of the project, right? And there are various levers of the value as well. Not only you. We're talking about normally we are thinking about cost saving, right? If we look at a project of $1 billion, and then we limit the opportunity of optimization from that $1 billion project cost alone, right? Where maybe, it's already, even the margin of contractor also now getting thinner and thinner, right? So how much optimization or cost saving that you can have that? But not only cost saving, there are actually a value in terms of cash generation, of schedule acceleration, and we have early monetization of assets. So that is actually a big value levers that we are aiming for, as well as cost avoidance. Because when we see and we have data to prove that this project will have a slippage of, for example, 1 month, 2 months, right? It is inevitable that this project will get delayed if nothing nothing being done. Then that definitely will be a cost to the project and to the organization. Once we implement solution to intervene the expected future costs, right? That is when we get the cost avoidance, right? So we have seen also several projects that we are going into this direction, having captured value in cost avoidance levers, especially with some projects that we're going to share after this, right? So going into more specific developers example of project implementation, and then what we did with some project, some good stuff as well as some lessons learned. I pass to my colleague, Musai.
Thank you all. Good evening, gentlemen. So what I'm going to share with you is 3 stories, because not everything is nice and sweet. So there's going to be 2 stories on our success, and another story would be how we feel to implement PPM, and how we feel to actually kind of bring change to a project. Right. So the first one, this is quite interesting because we actually went in to help with the scope of a project. Our strategy has always been like, start small, show them the results, because seeing is believing, right? Show them the results, they will come back for more. So, but this project, we went and see the construction managers, and that construction managers actually is a guy from whom I learned about construction 8 years ago. And 8 years later, I went back to him and I said, I have a better way to do construction. And he was like, you learned construction from me, right? And now you come back to me and tell me there's a better way. So he gave me an ultimatum. He said, okay, I give you a moment. You come in. If nothing improves, pack your bag, out you go. So that was the bet. So I said, okay, I accept the challenge. And that's why we call Roberto's team in with the help of SPS. We deployed, I think Michelle was there for 2 weeks from SPS. We deployed, so the scope was to make the substation, because you see, substation is nothing more than just a 4 wall blocks, right? But surprisingly, like the first slide of us, we still fail. Right? It's just a 4 blocks, 4 walls, and we fail. So we went in, we said, just to get the substation ready to accept the panel. So if you can see here, what we did was we recovered 30 days of delay. They were already 30 days delay. We recovered that 30 days delay in 60 days of time frame. So, and then the thing that we promised to the construction manager was also like, I will give you an insight that you have not received before. Right? Because it was always a question like, what is the difference between PPM and P6 and everything, right? So I said, I'm going to give you an insights that you don't have in P6. So towards if you see here, this graph actually tells you the insight. Okay, why this is important, right? Sometimes when the project is delayed, what you normally hear is that add more manpower. But is it so? And if yes, you want to add more manpower, where do you want to go in? Alright, so, but what they realized throughout the journey, you can see over here is basically the green is the last response moment for the task, and the blue line is the actual that we clock in at the site. So if you see somewhere after the 2 weeks, or yeah, almost about 2 weeks of deployment, you can see the graph actually cross over to the positive sides. But you see all the activities, and eventually over here, we come back being normal. Why? Because there was an issue with engineering, right? They cannot feed information to construction, and this is normal. Engineering was waiting for some other people to give them information. So this waiting game is actually one of the variability, the biggest variability that we always see in a project. So by having, for example, the specific case was the HVAC details for the substation. So once we have this, and we have it plotted and recorded, this was brought back to the engineering team. Guys, this is what is going to cost me. You see all the variance here? It's going to cost me a lot. So now engineering team also, they have a data supporting them to maneuver which priority goes in first. So this is the first success story, and this success story is basically, it was implemented by Petronas team. Means that the construction manager, my friend, the construction manager, he says, I will implement for you. And it was, with the whole PPM deployment was driven by Petronas team. Now for the second one. The second one, we said, let's try with contractor themselves deploying it. Because, you know, for us to be sustainable, it's the guy who actually doing the work needs to believe in PPM. Or else it's going to be forever driven by Petronas, and you don't say, I mean, if I'm retired, for example, right? It's just going to die off. So that's why for the second deployment or success story is that we went to a project. It was a very small scope, but it was very important for a plant turnaround because they were upgrading their effluent treatment system, and the scope given to us was already like 28 days delay. And this was critical to start up after post shutdown. And if they don't start, if this task is not completed, the plant literally cannot start. Alright, and I think the revenue was about 10 million per day kind of things. So 28 days, just multiply. So we went in, we captured back the 28 days delay. Of course, at the end of it, we couldn't make it to zero like the first case, but still 28 days is a lot of saving, right? Now when contractors see this, and you can see over here, this is the group of contractors working on a daily production and planning and things like that. So when they see the results, they themselves come back to us and say, I'm going to implement for the second scope. And I think this was like 2 weeks ago, they just started on the second scope. So this is the kind of change that we are trying to bring, and the way we are doing a change. I think there was a question during our session yesterday in training on how we do a mass implementation. So there is actually no secret recipe for mass implementation. You just have to do it small, eat the animal bit by bit, and you will see the success. Okay, all right, this is the unfortunate. Of course, like I said, not everything is rosy, right? So over here, we went in, we had it deployed. We have PPC deployed for this. This is also a substation scope. The thing was, compared to earlier substation job, this one was up until full completion of the substation. So meaning to say that if the first success story was for 30 days duration, this was like for months. And this is where we see the first failure actually, because the duration was long, people don't see the results, and they were like, this is just adding up my task, daily task. And to make it worse, the team from the contractor for this project, they were also like, I mean, the whole project was running behind schedule like months. So when you come in with the new methods, it was like not another thing. All right. So what happened was, they deployed, they see some recovery, but because there was no drive from contractor, right, they kind of hold it back. And my team went in back, I think September this year. We put a support on how we do PPC implementation again. We get the ball rolling again. We see an improvement happening again, but when we left the project, the graph goes down back. The whole scope went into the delays. Now, in the middle of the deployment, they said, because the whole substation is too huge, let's cut it down to just the readiness of substation. But then again, we see when we come in, it shows improvement, but when we go back, the whole thing goes back down. So this is where we are seeing that we can see an improvement if there is really a commitment. Right, and for you to get a commitment, you need to show them the success. I mean, yes, we are firm believer of PPM, but not everybody is like us. right? So this is one of the things that we couldn't manage to salvage. And this brings us to what we say, our key challenges now. I mean, we have been deploying for the past 2 years, right? Still, the biggest challenge is the commitment and the mindset. Like I said, when you go and see construction managers, the guy will say like, I have been doing this for the last 20 years, right? This is how we do it. But if you ask them, when was your last project that was finished on time without rebaseline, right? And they was like, okay, see, that's what you need it. Okay. So again, I mean, it depends, because some construction managers, some project managers, they are very open to it. Right? They will listen to you, they will try the games, the dice game, everything. They will see the result, the pen games. So I would not, but those people are very, very small, I would say, in quantity. So again, we really need to see what is specific issue of the projects and how we can handle that. So what we are seeing as part of change management is that we need to have a committed team. So I think that's why the team from our side is growing. And the team from the project needs to be, I mean, what we are seeing now is that for every project that we went in, you need to have a champion for it. It's not that I don't want to support you guys, but if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. Right? And the reason is that why we are doing that is because we know that PPM is going to help you, right? And by implementing it in the wrong direction, it's going to find you back. Say, you bring in PPM, but it really doesn't help us. So that is also something that we are avoiding. So, and the last thing is, let's celebrate small success. So like I said, have a small scope, celebrate the success, expand it. So all the success stories that I've shared to you guys, we have seen scope growth from one scope to another scope to another scopes, right? And that's the natural, or I would say the organic way of scaling up. And then I think second challenge is about the knowledge and capability. For example, right, we have different perspectives on how we manage project again. All right, and when you bring in PPM, there are terminologies that are seen, that are similar but not the same. For example, schedule variance. When you talk to PCs guys, schedule variance is totally different thing. When you bring in from PPM perspective, it's different thing. So I think it is more like we need to have more kind of exploration session, and that's what we are doing. Okay, and then the last thing is the implementation practicality. This goes back to what I said earlier on. Be selective on where you want to deploy it, because the wrong deployment gonna fire back and he's gonna kill the whole momentum. Right. So and I think one of the biggest challenge we see in the practicality side of it is that when we first develop the standard process, like the first substation project that I showed to you guys, it took us like almost half a day to develop just a small scope of completion. Why? Because first, people don't understand the terminologies, the process of it, and you see that you need to bring a lot of people, because the guy actually who is doing the work, for all you know, he's the last guy that people go and talk to. So when we develop the standard process, initially they say, we are the main con, we can do it for you. But when we go into the details, the granular details of it, then they were like, okay, I need my subcon to be here. They go and call the subcon in, and when the subcontractor came in, the way he showed that this is how I am going to build it was totally different than what the main con said. And the main con was like, well, I didn't know that. Alright, so I mean, at the end of it, people saw the benefit. Yes, I spent half a day developing the standard process. But the process of development of standard process is very, I would say, is a basic. But of course, it's good, but it's a challenge. And that's why we are saying that there is an opportunity to have a standard process library, so that we don't start everything from scratch. I know the whole idea behind developing standard process is bring everybody on the same table, on the same page, so that you know, like one team is going to the north, the other one going to the south. But then again, there must be some sort of similar tip that we can do. So I think let's go pass back to Al.
Maybe back to this slide a bit, right? So I think we have discussed this morning as well, or Bill and also Sarah mentioned about the in terms of knowledge and touch about knowledge and capability, right? So we have yet to see that not so many materials and interactive, for example, creative, easy to understand on PPM. Even if you Google the definition of project production management, also it's not a straight answer. It's right. So what is PPM, right? So maybe we can find a way of getting that clarity in terms of delivering the message, right? Clear message. What is it actually? My boss, Mr. Prakash, also talking about expecting also the elevated speech, what we call not speech, pitch, right? Elevated speech, elevated pitch, right? So when we explain about the project, the project that we implemented, and then what triggers his mind is that the story of the substation. It's very simple story of substation, right? For him to understand PPM, right? It's just 4 walls and a roof. How simple it is, how high it can be, right? But imagine if we have 4 walls and 1 roof, and start with building a 4 wall, using bricks. We have 4 brick layers working on the 4 walls, right? Until 2 meters, right? The bricklaying until 2 meters, and then after 2 meters, they need to have a scaffolding. Then the scaffolding guys come and do scaffolding while the bricklayers go out, right? Waiting for the scaffolding to complete, and then they continue with the 2 meters and above, right? Why not, in the different perspective, we have 3 bricklayers working on 1 wall to complete the 2 meters, another one just for another wall, the second wall, and leave the other 2, right? Well, when the 3 bricklayers complete the first wall, they can go to the second wall, and the scaffolding can work on the first wall, right? So when we discuss about it, is it just a common sense, right? To be the second way is much better, so that we have the constant flow of work that nobody needs to wait, right? And that is how it triggers the understanding of project as production system. It's so simple stories and simple example like that hopefully can triggers the mind of people and get the understanding of the, when we talk about operation science, maybe people get scared, right? All right, so and we're talking about commitment again, right? So even us at the program management level, we also track our commitment reliability. And this is our commitment reliability of the program management team, not the project. Eh? So even ourselves, we make ourselves to be disciplined enough, have weekly planning for the next week, right? And we track our commitment reliability of 60%. Yes, we have a lot of practice change, but it keeps us moving and then discipline, as well as we bring the practical experience on ourselves as we deploy to other projects as well. And back to the commitment, right? Before we in deployment to projects, right? Before we can improve commitment reliability, right? The project's commitment reliability, obviously we need the commitment to be present first in the project teams, right? So once they have the commitment, the commitment is present, then there are possibility for us to manage the commitment result and improve the project. Thank you very much. That's all, Prof.
We have Nugra and John. Nugra is the project production coordinator for Tripatra, where he's responsible for deploying PPM methods and principles on projects. He has experience implementing lean principles on various industrial projects. And John is the head of project production management department. He has over 30 years of experience in global project delivery in oil, gas, renewable energy sector. So, gentlemen, I'll turn it over to you. Who gets the mic first? Yeah. Very good.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I think first of all, I see that all of you are very serious here. So it scares me a little bit. But let me introduce ourselves. We are from Indonesia. You can see my costume. That's why I have to start with my costume. It's very unique. This is the local Indonesian costume. So if you happen to meet someone wearing this type of costume, then you know it's Indonesia. Okay? Okay. Where's this? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, before we share our experiences in PPM implementation, let me introduce about our company. So we just celebrated our 50th anniversary just last month, October 13th. So we have 5 kids already. So initially we start in the oil and gas business, right, in early decade. But looking at the business of oil and gas in Indonesia, it turns out to be becoming slower and even low. So as a company and involving in the low profit margin industry, so we have to see bigger vision than just oil and gas. That's why we are now approaching not only oil and gas, but also midstream industry, even downstream. Even we are going to the minerals projects, because we have a lot of resources in Indonesia, minerals. And that's how we have to look, and we are building the capability to manage this type of project also. And also that a lot of certification requirement that we have to comply. Our company also going to try to capture as many as possible certification, just to look a little bit nicer to the customers or these companies, okay, you see, to start with, yeah. And not only we are working on the EPC, PCM type of project, we are also expanding our capacity to manage the operation and maintenance project. Yeah, and as you know, that digital transformation is approaching this industry also. So we have to also working on this side. Yeah, we are now, I think, one of the company, including the contractor, I believe, that using a paperless report, and we have an online project simulation, even can be accessed to your mobile phone. So this kind of thing happen in our company. That's why we can consider ourselves as one of the leading contractors in Indonesia. So besides all the things that I mentioned before, there are a lot of additional requirements that we have to meet here. One is the environment, social, and governance. And we have committed. We have a sustainable commitment to meet all this. So it's not build something, try to finish quickly, but at the end, environment destroyed, and the local people upset, we just have experiences of people upset, even though from the system point of view, is good, but the local people is not happy. That's not what we are doing. Yeah. So this added to the way we do projects. And project management is our key to be successful in this kind of industry. Not only emission, water management, waste management, energy usage, even gender equality. We are the company that hire women up to, I think, our women in the company reaching around 18%. Yeah, so our commitment, with such a commitment, it's making our life is not easier. It's challenging ourselves to find a way to find solution, to find a better way to run this type of company. Yeah. As you know, with regards to project delivery, right? So we got some information you can access there. And it's based on the CII information. A lot of projects, have a problem with the state, overrun state. Even Mac and C company also mentioned almost the same. I put in another information. As you know that we are building many infrastructure projects recently in Indonesia. I think we are still also facing some delay. Yeah, we thought that it's easier and complex than like a petrochemical or oil and gas, but still we see something happen. The same thing with us. Yeah, so 7 items that I mentioned here, this is kind of a learning and pain that we are facing as the contractors. Yeah, sometimes we try to make the owner or the client is happy in the beginning. Wow, you look great, you are ahead of the price. But following onward, we see also that we are hard. We are difficult in catching or keeping or sustain our performance. That's because we use our old school concept. Yeah. And other thing I think you use, I don't need to explain one by one. Yeah, there are a couple of things that back to resources, and complex regulatory compliance, requirement and compliance. In Indonesia, we have to consider what we call it local content. People now in each project, they set up certain local content. So you cannot just have flexibility in bringing some company or some technology just to meet your requirement. Yeah, the government set up local content, which makes our life harder, difficult. Yeah. And also our project stakeholders, not so many are really understood about this. What I mean is that understand, or they just want to know that our project complete whatever the plan. They don't want to know how to do it sometimes. That's this is what we are facing. Yeah. So what happened is, based on this, our management, our company is trying to, do some reflection. Why we need a new approach? Why need a new approach? Yeah. We find that the complexity of the project is getting high because we are expanding our portfolio. Yeah. So unless we find something is going to help us, we can destroy ourselves. The second one is there is a consistent expectation from the customer for the faster project delivery. So they don't want to understand how you do it, how you can achieve it, but that's a consistent expectation. Yeah. And then better project management execution. This has become like not an option. This is a must. And better predictability of project delivery. And we see also the last one, that if we rely on the people knowledge, it's getting all the people, so the retention is a problem. So we want to find also systems that can help us developing our team time by time, not rely on the certain people experience. We keep him there, we try to teach him that good, but at the end, when he's gone with the knowledge. So this kind of thing makes also our CEO, our company management is aware of, you need to find something which can make us sustain in this type of industry. Like whatever. Not the caps. Fire down. Yeah. Lower down. I get to. That's a oracle. Yeah, it's okay. I keep talking with people. The fire, yeah. So what happened, our CEO, I think, is our previous CEO actually is one of the pioneers in bringing this PPM to the company. To be honest, when I heard the first time, I just said, you really want to execute project with this approach, and then it makes him, to bring me to lunch. The time, I'm going to cut. So he tried to convince me, At the end, I think after he can convince me that he made it even now a bigger commitment. So in the project charter, we just put, the commitment to apply PPM in the execution. Not only work now in the project charter, all the project managers has to be committed to that. Wow! So instead of waiting, I think it's very good, for us to see the profit. No, our CEO doesn't have time for that because we are living with a low profit market industry. That we have to see directly. Let's learn something, and at the same time get the benefit. Yeah. So even we start having a campaign of this PPM. Yeah. So later on, at the end of this slide, given by my colleague, you will see also we are building the campaign to our employees. Not only the project manager, but everybody is to be aware. Hey guys, hey folks, come on, forget the old school. Not forget the old school. Just remind this is a new school that you need to do that. Otherwise, you will not survive in this company. This is my own work actually. Right. So this kind of things that trigger us to go to the PPM. Yeah. So recently we have project with Shell also. We'll try to approach them. To use this methodology in implementing our project. We are now in the process of completing one project, operation and maintenance in the petrochemical plant. Yeah. And then my people. And the way we do it, the good thing is that even the client now interested, in using our approach, he said that to compare with the typical schedule given by the project control, he said, why is this a different result? Why the project schedule earned even a different result with the PPM and the rest? Then he just realized, I just want to use the PPM now as a basis for him to talk, because this petrochemical company is one of the government company who try to control the consumption of fuel in Indonesia. You can imagine if we are late on the major shutdown, in the effect, it's not only them being scolded by government, but we also have bad reputation. So this kind of thing that out of a rejection of our company, to see a good thing from the PPM that we expecting the more good thing we will expect to see by implementing PPM in the way we do and execute the project. So the next one, I'll give my chance to my colleague to explain certain implementation on this PPM in some of our projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak. So before I start, maybe we can give a round of applause to PPI because this wonderful event. And then also because I don't know it's planned or not. I'm shocked actually just because I cannot see any slide, and then I need to tell before just now, right? And then Christine helped me with the playing again with slides. So okay. So as you know, maybe Roberto knows, people from SPS knows that Tripatra already implement PPM already 5 years of implementing. But yeah, as you know, we are the one that I believe when I joined Tripatra implementing PPM, and then I previously implementing lead constructions in buildings, dam project, infrastructures projects. So the one that I believe in, like IWP, PPM, and Lean, it's not just transforming one company, but also transforming the industry. So that's the one that we are facing. So therefore, it's kind of hard. I said it's not just a medicine that we can solve it all, but it's like, you know, we building trust more and more to the people on the ground. So at first, this is the roadmap, our roadmap of implementation. And then if you can see in here, there's a line there, but it's not like in initiation and then go iteration, scale up, valuation and integration, and it's finished. No, it's just in every project we do it again and again. Not even in every project, but in every package of work. So we are dealing with subcontractors. We are discussing with them with the implementation of this. And then the objectives that we are getting, this is based on the presentation that McKinsey gave us before when introducing 5 years ago about PPM. And then I think based on the Tripatra that get the objective of this, only maybe 2 or 4 implementation. So if you can see in here, like work in process, inventories managed, capacity allocation, variability and schedule, cost compression. We've just managed the capacity allocation and variability decrease. So there's 2 more goals that we need to achieve in this year. Okay, so this is our detailed PPM strategies. This is the enablers. So we are conduct daily cadence consistently. You can see in here. But for short, there's so many things that we need to do to implement PPM, and then we can see based on the insights. So mentioned by Usaid before implementing, we celebrate small goals, small achievement. We can see in here all the insights. We also celebrate with not just with our team, but also with the subcontractors and workers on site. We really talk to them, and it goes to the site and so on. We can see lead talk is Genba, and then we directly influence them with the implementation of PPM. So regarding the implementation of PPM, we've already, like I said before, sorry, the mistype on the end is Q3 2023, but overall it's already 7 engineering projects, EPCM and EPC projects, and then not just oil and gas projects, but we also doing petrochemicals project, geothermal projects, and then there's many EPC projects that's going on. And then this is the applications that we are trying to do, implementing, and the left side is the production system control, and the right side is production system optimization. So the interesting part about the production on the left side, the PPC, production system control, production plan control, we also generate one simple pager for every owner or every subcontractors to see how their performance of the implementation. So, you know, if they want to see the graph, I don't know, maybe people from, I'm not saying that my people is not, you know, see easily the data, but they usually easy to see the performance of projects only on one page. So not, you know, there's so many pages that they need to see. So I summarize it using in one page, so everybody can see. And then if you can see in here, this is only one of a production flow of one pump. This is only one pump, guys. So in this project alone, I have like 50 pumps. And then there's so many preparation before that. And then I just show you, this is simple. And it's not full, actually it's crop. And then there's so many activities after that. And then if you can see in here, there's so many subcontractors. There's so many parties that is happening, you know, doing the activities that's maintaining the production flow. So, mentioned before, that's under process. If you can see in here, there's contractor and client part on the left side and right side. So what it means in here, every time we're doing the work, we also collaborate with the client. We become more transparent with them, and then we engage with the client. I will show you later, and then I will share you the experience. Even the contractors at first really doubt about this PPM implementation. But yeah, just as you know, we just show them how we can run the projects of the future, if we can see like that. Okay, so this is the production system optimization that we've already implemented. This is in civil stage, soil excavation rate. And then you can see in here, this is the grid part, is the one that planned by the project control. So even the project control now in our company already done the level 5 schedules, even level 6, level 7, or you mentioned it, level 8, 9, or everything. But it's not, you know, it's not reflecting the production system that's happening on the ground actually. And then as you know, the funny thing, when I want to create the production schedule at first, the project control just give me the level 5 schedule. You can create the production schedule using this level 5 schedules then. Really? And then I see it. Oh, cannot. It's because, as you know, in a production schedule, there's no start to start relations. There's no finish to finish relation. There's only finish to start. It means all the projects, it's like, you know, it's a handover. I learned from Ballard here that every projects in every activity, in every projects, it's a promise to every parties. So that's why, if you can see, level 5 schedules cannot bring it all. That's why after we implement the PSO, we can see in here the blue part and then the gray and then the orange part. You can see it's based on the rates, of the productivity, and then we can see that it's not matched with the planned duration and planned with the schedule. So maybe I keep playing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of integration, Tripatra has so many initiatives like AWP. We have also mentioned by Sarah, Core BI, all over the projects. And then we can see in here, we also integrate with PPM, with the Core BI. So directly we can see the rates of every activity in production schedule directly to the management dashboard. So you can see in here, so data acquisition, and then it's directly through API, if you know about it. So it's directly through API from production planning control, PPC software to directly to the dashboard of Power BI. Yeah. Okay. So this is our success stories, and then I will show you later our challenges. This is our success stories. The first is engineering case. There is slower reduction of man hours, around 49% of reduction man hours. And then for construction case, this is recently we got that we have 30 days acceleration for heater construction. Implements of heater, there's 2 heaters that we accelerate in 30 days of construction. So this is the process actually, this real case process. The first is we presented we get the buyback from the owners about the implements of PPM. So we presented the PPM to the directors, and then we directly, actually they don't believe it because as you know, I'm sorry boss. So this is, so when I explained to him about PPM, actually he doesn't believe anything we say, because he said our performance is in managing project is really bad in their project right now. So they already have a bad image with us. So actually they just, okay, I will sit your last effort to implement any project management strategy you have, and then yeah, just go on with it then. And then after that, we directly, okay, if you want to test me, just go out then. And then I just go directly to the subcontractors, to the workers on site. We need to plan this better. And then after that, directly with the owners, this is the owners one. And then we implement the production schedules directly and the standard process, and then we manage it daily. So if you mentioned before it's weekly, but we mention it in daily. We plan in daily. So there's no weekly work planning, but daily work planning. And the result is real. So we enhance the real-time communication and also the acceleration of 30 days of heater construction. So this is our main challenge right now. I'm not saying that, I know I'm representing Tripatra, but I'm also representing PPM in Indonesia, implementing PPM in Indonesia. We have so many challenges. And the first, of course, number one is culture. If you can see, it's people adapting new methodology, new mindset about projects. And then lack of PPM knowledge that's used actually to the owners. Maybe people from here already know PPM, and then maybe there is a person from BP, ExxonMobil, but it's in US, it's another part of the world. So in Indonesia, people from even from BP or Shell or ExxonMobil doesn't know about PPM. So, yeah, so that's the one that we are facing actually. And then number three is actually our problems about the objective of PPM. Because PPM using tools like digital tools, I've already implement also like lean construction. If we introduce about digitalization, they will think that all lean construction is a digitalization. All PPM is a digitalization, but it's not. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. That's why number three, a bias first is in every objective we tell to the people. And then the process, of course, the integration with the project controls and so on, and then technology, integration with the PPM and other software that we are using, right?